I call Materia Toure.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. The Telecommunications Interception Capability and Security Bill was passed in 2013 alongside its sister bill, the GCSB bill, and those two pieces of legislation were expressly designed to increase the powers of the GCSB to engage in large-scale spying on citizens and of this country and other countries. The original bill, we want to be really clear about what we're talking about here. The original legislation to which this bill before us wants to amend was designed to increase the surveillance powers against New Zealanders and others. The original bill gave the GCSB the greater technical ability to spy on New Zealanders and to allow other foreign agencies to use the GCSB to do the same. At the time, the Greens and others fought very hard alongside thousands of New Zealanders against increasing the powers of the spy agencies, in large part because the spy agencies could not be trusted to use those powers wisely. They could not be trusted to follow the law appropriately. And even though there's been 2 years have passed since these original bills were passed into law, despite the fact that the discussion then was that these agencies could not be trusted to follow the law, and they were told to do so, and they promised to do so, that they would be much better. We have now seen, subsequently, that at least the NZSIS is still failing to follow the law. So the Green Party supports Claire Curran's bill because although a modest bill and a small change, it is a bill that helps provide the oversight that New Zealanders are demanding of our spy agencies because they are proving time and time again to be untrustworthy, to fail to follow the law. The NZSIS example just recently where they are required by the law to, and I guess this is one of the warnings about even legislation like that before us today, is that you can put these provisions in place in the law, but if you have a minister who doesn't understand his own legislation, and you have heads of agencies who don't care for the oversight that they're required to provide, they just don't do it. And the latest example with the NZSIS is it's classic. They're required, when they issue a visual surveillance warrant, to provide that to the Inspector General of the intelligence agencies, and the director of the NZSIS did not do that. The minister who signed off the warrants didn't bother to check and make sure that she had followed his new law. He did not find out that she had failed to follow the law until after the Inspector General had presented her report to the Prime Minister, a week after. You can put in place important safeguards, but if you still have a failed government who doesn't understand the importance of both privacy and the right to uphold the law, the necessity to uphold the law, then sometimes these things will fall through. But nonetheless, despite the failure of this government to make sure the law is followed when it comes to spy agencies, and despite the failure of, in this case, the director of the NZSIS to undertake her legal obligations under new law, we would nonetheless support any legislation, such as Claire Curran's, to increase the oversight of these spy agencies, in this particular case, the GCSB. And we would do so in the name of the thousands of New Zealanders, thank you, Mr Speaker, the thousands of New Zealanders who understand there may be a need for agencies like this, who recognise that there are threats that need to be dealt with and that some powers may be required, but who want to have a proper balance of proper oversight over those agencies to ensure that they follow the law, just like they are expecting other New Zealanders to do so. To have these agencies of the law breaking the law because there is poor oversight over their operations is unacceptable in a modern democracy. So I applaud Claire Curran's bill. It's a modest change, but it is a step forward, and the Green Party will support it. Thank you, Mr Speaker.